Here at Paddy Power, we're the home of the Money Back Special, with some incredible offers every single week. Check out the website or app today. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Hi there, welcome along to the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington and I'm joined this week by two ace tipsters in the form of Graham Rodway and David Jennings, as well as from Paddy Power, one of their team of odds compilers who's got all the odds and hopefully a winner or two himself. That's James Ryan. What have we got coming up? We've got 7 races on Saturday on ITV3. We've also got the Irish Oaks, in which the King, Rafe Beckett, is going to have the 1-2. You heard it here first. And then on Sunday, we will look ahead to some more great action at the Curragh involving a couple of group races. The boys have got all the best bets from all the other meetings, flat and jump. So we will kick off then with 4 races on, like I say, ITV3. Slightly unfamiliar surroundings, but I'm sure you can find it. There's 4 races at Newbury, the first of which is the 150, the Bet365 Stakes, known as the Steventon Stakes back in the day. Over 10 furlongs. And how do Paddy Power bet, James?
Fox Chairman is a favourite at even money, followed by Pondus 3-1, First Nation 4-1, Set Piece 8-1, Dolphin Vista 14, and What About Carlo 22s.
First of all, before we get stuck in, I want to know how confident everyone is. DJ, are you in flying form?
Yeah, very confident. I had a good day tipping in the paper on Wednesday night. I had a winner at 13-2 and 11-2. So yeah, good.
James, you sound nice and chipper. Are you in the winners right now?
Yeah, we're doing okay at the moment. I think the good couple of opportunities tomorrow, so looking forward to getting into it.
And now maintaining the upbeat mood.
No, I'm in absolutely shocking form. Yeah, terrible form. I mean, I can't remember the last time I tipped a winner in the paper. I think I've had one winner on the live tipster in about the last 6 shifts, and that was 9-4. A massive struggle at the moment.
Everything, it's a resignation letter, this.
Oh, everything that I tip just runs terribly. Although the one thing I will say is that, you know, when you're going through a bad period, you go through that period where they all run terribly, and I think I'm through that period. Then you get a period where they all start to run well, but then they lose in agonising fashion. And okay. I'm in that period, you know.
And the next stage
I'm coming back to
winners,
form.
Yeah?
I'm coming back to form. Then after that agonising defeat stage, you get the winners. So
okay, right. I think you're going to have loads of winners, and you're going to kick it off with the 150 winner, G-Rod. Who is it?
Yeah, we should start off nice and easy race to start off with, because the favourite will win this race, Fox Chairman. He is short price, but I mean, I understand that he's like the absolute bee's knees at Baldings. You know, like there's not a horse that can get close to him. Even that Bangkok thing they've got that finished second to Japan at Royal Ascot. Fox Chairman apparently is in absolute different gravy, and it's been an unlucky horse, hasn't he, this year? I mean, he got caught in the inside rail when he was behind, was it Sir Dragonet at Chester? Was travelling well, and then Sir Dragonet just took off around his outside and he ran on into third. Then last time out, it was a similar sort of story at Ascot where he got behind and he found all sorts of bother him running, and then Sangarius came flying down the outside, and by the time Fox Chairman got out, he couldn't catch the winner, but he still beat the rest tidily. That was on soft ground, over 1.25 miles soft ground, which it could be. It's worth mentioning. There's loads and loads of rain.
Yes, it is. There's tons of rain in the forecast. Yeah. So we're going to have to take a rain check, if you like, and just see where we are in the morning, because after weeks and weeks of lovely weather and good to firm, it looks like we might be dealing with the old word soft, mightn't we?
It does look that way, yeah, and plenty for the west as well, and where, you know, down near Newbury, they've got quite heavy forecast there. So if it does go on the soft side, that won't be a problem for Fox Chairman. He should win.
Right, G-Rod's kicked off with a very confident case for Fox Chairman in the 150. DJ, do you echo G-Rod's confidence, or are you going to take the jolly on?
Yeah, unbelievably, we're tipping the same horse, Bruce. Yeah, to me, when I've been looking through this race all week, I think it's really strange that he hasn't gone odds on, because, you know, he's rated 107, he's getting the 3-year-old allowance. It was actually against Circus Maximus that he ran the D Stakes at Chester. He was really unlucky that day. Now, he wouldn't have won, but he would have got a good bit closer. But like, the form of the race is absolutely rock solid. Mohawk was second. Mohawk won the Mel Stakes at Leopardstown the other night. Obviously, Circus Maximus went on to win the St. James's Palace Stakes. And in the Hampton Court Stakes, like, Sangarius got first run, and it was just a case of, I don't think Sylvester did that wrong. Just, he went down an avenue that just wasn't going to open, and he was unlucky again, but the excuses won't wash here, because he won his maiden at Newbury, and he's got the long home straight. They're going to be potentially in the middle of the track. There's going to be plenty of space. He's just simply the best horse in the race, and there's no way he should be even money. I think he should be 4-6, and I think he'll go off about that.
James, what do you think he'll go off at, and do you think he'll win?
Yeah, I do think he'll win. I think he'll go off a lot shorter there. It was half start price in the race, and I had him a good bit shorter than what he is at the moment. Some of the I think Pondus is a very talented horse, but he just can't settle. And like horses that can't settle, it's just very hard for them to get back. Get actually settled again when they start racing in the future. So I can't give him any hope. And First Nation's just a solid horse. I think Fox Chairman's clearly the best out of these. It'd be very hard to beat.
Okay, 225, a stayers handicap over 2 miles and half a furlong. It's the Marsh Cup. James, how did Paddy Power bet on this one?
Carwenan is our 9-2 favourite, followed by Withhold 5-1, the Grand Vizier 6-1, Prashima 13-2, Who Dares Wins 10-1, Coeur de Leon 11-1, and 12-1 bar.
Interesting race this, DJ, not just in as a spectacle in itself, but also for some pointers for some of the big staying action coming up.
Yeah, I'm all over one here. I fancy Prashima for Tom Dascombe and Richard Kingscote. I just taught him the Northumberland Plate. It was the first time the horse had ran over 2 miles, and Jane Elliott rode him. And it was just a case of, we're not sure if he's going to stay the trip, so we're just going to give him every chance to stay in the trip. He was held up out the back. I still think he was last turned into the home straight. He absolutely flew home. Now, you sometimes can get sucked into these really fast finishers when basically those up front have softened each other up, and Prashima flew home, but it looked like he got every yard of the trip. His 2 wins have been at Haydock and Doncaster, and I would consider them similar sort of tracks to Newbury, long home straight. I'd imagine he won't be ridden with as much restraint here, given that they know he stays now. He's only gone up £1 for that Northumberland Plate run, which I thought was very, very fair. To me, he's the real improver in the race. He could be the real kind of Ebor type. And for me, I think he's priced accordingly. Prashima for me.
James, who's your fancy?
Yeah, echo everything DJ said there. I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest, if this lad went off favourite. We've been keeping him on side all week, and we'll be going a good bit shorter when the market comes to us. If you look at that last run, the 3 horses that came from the back that day were King's Advice and Making Miracles and himself. King's Advice has obviously come out and won again since. It was really hard to make up ground from the back that day. And Prashima finished fastest of all, even finished, faster sectionals than a lot of other horses on the card. Arguably should have won the race and only £1 over. And obviously Richard Kingscote taken over, which is a positive. I think he'd be very hard to beat, and he'd go off a good bit shorter than what he is now.
With a very unified start. Everyone's agreeing with each other. Are you going to keep that trend going, Graham?
It's all very boring, isn't it, really?
I love it when everyone agrees.
No, I like one at a big price in this race, Temple Church. He absolutely loves the course. He won that Haynes, Hanson and Clark Conditions race there, that famous one that all the good horses...
Jurgar won that.
Yeah. And was it Naef and some of those? And then he came back to Newbury and he won there last September on soft ground, over 1.5 miles. And then he came back to Newbury, I think it was 2 runs ago, ran an absolute stormer there, finishing 6th. For some reason, the track just really seems to suit him, and he handles soft ground. And he's going down in the weights. I think on his best form, he could easily blow these away, and yet he's 33-1. You've got to take a chance on him coming back to form at the course, I think.
Made a very good case there, Graham. Right, the group action at Newbury is taking place at 3 o'clock. It's the Bet365 Hackwood Stakes. James, what's the latest?
The Tin Man is a 9-4 favourite, followed by Kadem 9-2, Snazzy Jazzy 6-1, Projection 7-1, 9-1 bar.
And the good old Tin, can he win, James?
He can indeed. I think he's going to be very hard to beat here. And a lot of these aren't coming into this in the greatest form. The only thing, if there was a lot of rain, you'd have fancy a couple of the others in here. But I just think he's coming in here off the very best of form from the Diamond Jubilee. I thought he kind of looked like he needed the last 2 runs at Windsor and at Ascot. I can see here coming on again. Didn't get the cleanest way run through, even at the start of the race. He was a little keen before Oisin kind of dropped him in. So I just think he could improve again. I just think he's a different class to a lot of these horses. He could be the proper kind of Group 2/Group 1 horse in here, when everything else is your Group 3 kind of class horse. So I wouldn't be surprised either if he went off a bit shorter than what he is now.
What price is Don Juan?
He's 9s.
9s. That's the one for me, G-Rod, if it rains. But you got to love the old Tin, haven't you? You going to go for him?
No, not the Tin. I do like the Tin.
You got to, haven't you? You can't not.
I know he's won at the course, but all his best form is really at Ascot. And his Group 1 win came there, and I'm more than happy to take him on. It's one of those interesting races where you've got the real established sprinters like the Tin and Don Juan and all those, and you've got the lightly raced 3-year-olds coming in underneath, and one of those caught my eye, Recon Mission. Won quite a hot race last time out at York. It won one of those 3-year-old sprint handicaps that they have at York, and they're always devilishly difficult to win. You have to be pretty smart to win it. And he won quite nicely, made most of the running, showed loads and loads of speed. He won on his debut on heavy ground, so if the rain comes, it won't be an issue. Obviously, he's got absolutely loads to find with those at the top of the market, but he's a lightly raced 3-year-old. We don't know how good he is. He could be up to anything. He might be up to improving. He's a big enough price for me to take a chance on Recon Mission.
Who are you going to put up, DJ?
Projection, Bruce. I know you'll see form figures of 0-0, but I think a key thing here, tongue strap on for the first time on projection, which I think will help him. He was only beaten ahead in the race last year by Yafta. Dream of Dreams was third, so that form has obviously worked out well. And he went on to beat Dream of Dreams at Ascot later on in the season. I just thought in the Diamond Jubilee, I know the Tin Man was unlucky as well, but he was constantly hampered projection from an early stage. When he went left, he was hemmed in. When he went right, he was hemmed in. Now, he was very disappointing. But I think this track, this trip, this race, this time of year, you're going to see what projection is made of here. If he's not up to running well here, I will forget about him. But I think everything is in his favour, so projection for me.
Righty-ho, the 340 is the Weatherby Super Sprint. 2-year-olds, 5 furlongs, loads and loads of prize money. And James, take us through Paddy Power's latest betting.
Yeah, and we're 5 places here, Bruce. And Ventura Rebel is our 6-4 favourite, followed by Never in Paris 6-1, Mighty Spirit 8-1, Empton 8-1, Taxiwala 12-1, and 14-1 bar.
G-Rod, for some reason, I just don't like this race. I don't know why. It gets loads of attention. It's great that they put all this money up, but it doesn't really do it for me. But perhaps you can invigorate my interest with a winner. Yeah,
it's one of those weird races, isn't it, where they sort of get weighted on their price. Is that right? Yeah, strange one that. But I mean, Recon Mission. No, not that one. Ventura Rebel, the favourite.
That was going to be like that episode of the Two Ronnies where they do Mastermind and he answers the question before. We're on to the 340 now, G-Rod.
Ventura Rebel, yeah, heads the market. And the second behind that was Ali last time out at Ascot. I mean, I absolutely love that one because when Ali went past the post, I was doing that Ali Boumaier, from years ago.
Nope.
Ali Boumaier, from the boxing years ago. Was it the Rumble in the Jungle? One of those.
Oh, yeah.
So when he went past the line, I haven't backed him. That was my celebration when
brilliant.
Ali went past. Obviously, I was the only one who was in on it, though. Nobody else knew
joined
what
in.
I
It
was
was
doing.
fantastic. Yeah.
That obviously sets a standard on form, but I couldn't be backing him at this sort of price against 25 young, unexposed 2-year-olds who could be absolutely anything. And one of those is Never in Paris for Cole Burke. Was wildly impressive first time out on debut. She really was strong at the finish. Quite a big, strong-looking filly. Hits the crown quite hard, so I think that any rain will suit her. And she bolted up that day. She beat Exclusive, who was trained by Archie Watson and had shown quite a decent level. And I think that Never in Paris is open to enough improvement to beat the favourite Ventura Rebel.
What price is Never in Paris, James?
It is our second favourite at 6-1.
Okay. David Jennings, what have you got for us?
You hate this race. I actually love it.
I don't hate it, because I remember back in Tiggy Wiggy, but I don't know, it never really sort of leads anywhere. It's not like something that you can think, wow, this is going to be really interesting to follow. It's just this sort of one-off thingy, really.
It's just from a financial point of view, I love it because I backed Tiggy Wiggy when she won, and Bengali Boys was another winner I backed, and actually the Miss Danvers as well. So I've actually got a decent enough record in the race, but I think I found one here at a massive price. Now, obviously, Paddy Power are absolutely fantastic. I love everything about Paddy Power, and they sponsored this podcast. They have priced the horse here 20-1, which is available at 40-1 in shops elsewhere. And I would advise people to maybe get on this 40-1 because I think it's a huge price. About Clay Regazzoni for Keith Dalglish, who's had 4 winners in the last week, so his team are in decent form. Still a maiden, Clay Regazzoni, and I loved its debut run. Real eye-catching. Loved the way he travelled. And then it was beaten. I was a little bit disappointing next time, but they ran him in the Chesham, which suggests to me he's obviously held in high regard. And he finished 10th, but I thought the Chesham was a hell of a race. Pinatubo, Lupi Fernandez was second. To me, that was the best 2-year-old race of the week. And the horse that finished last, Dramatic Sands, finished 14-14, came out and won next time at Chepstow. Clay Regazzoni was 10th, and I just liked the way he made a mid-race move, about 3 out. he kind of gradually worked his way into contention. He didn't get home and he was outclassed, but this is a completely different kettle of fish. I think he's still a good horse. Jim Crowley has been booked as well, which I think is an eye-catching jockey booking. And to me, there's no way he should be 40-1. So Clay Regazzoni at 40-1.
Interesting. James, what do you like?
Yeah, I think, again, going to take on the favourite here in Ventura Rebel. Just, I think he looks like a horse nearly that won 6 furlongs at this stage, the way he's been staying on at the end of his races. And when you go back to Ascot, I think one of the best pieces of form is the Queen Mary now. When we look at Mighty Spirit, going to be my selection here, but she was second on the far side to Liberty Beach, who obviously has come out and won a listed race since. Raffle Prize has come out and won since. She went really early that day. She kicked on really far too soon. It wasn't the most efficient ride in the world, so I can still see a little bit of improvement in her. She's a little bit disappointing last time, but I'm really hoping that she'll be able to reproduce that Ascot form. If she does, I think she could be right there over this 5 furlong trip. And with the 5 places in place at 8-1, I think she's a good bet.
Jolly good. Right, let's do the rest of the ITV3 action next.
So, does an each-way bet mean that my horse has to do part of the race in reverse?
Everyone loves a newbie. That's why Paddy Power Games are giving all new customers 60 free spins on daily jackpot games. New Paddy Power Games customers only. 1 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. Next up is the 240 at Newmarket. It's the Rick and Mary Hambra Aphrodite Filly Stakes, 1 mile and 4 furlongs, for which Paddy Power bet as follows.
Sparkle Roll is our 9-4 favourite, followed by Chiesa at 5-1. Love So Deep, 9-1. And it's 12-1 bar.
DJ, you're going first.
Yeah, I think Sparkle Roll will win because I think she's a big slow boat, and I think Newmarket, 1.5 miles, I can see her being ridden much more aggressively here. It was a cracking run behind Starcatcher and actually traded quite short in running that day. Was obviously hugely disappointing at York the time before that in the Musadora. Sent off favourite that day, but the time it beat King Power at Sandown, hit the front early in the home straight and just grounded out that big long stride, and I could see that being used to good effect here on this track at Newmarket. Look, she's favourite, but I don't think it's a great race, and I think she'll win.
Righty-ho, James, what do you like?
Yeah, Sparkle Roll as well. Should be very hard to beat here. I think she's probably 6, 7, 8 pounds better than the rest of these. I wouldn't mind if there's a little bit of cut in the ground that came, if there was a bit of rain in the area. I think that would only enhance her chances. Just to add, we are 4th place in this as well, if people are looking for that each way angle in here with the short price favourite. But I think Sparkle will be very difficult to beat off 8-5 as well. There'll be hardly anything on her back.
Lovely stuff, and don't forget all those extra places are available not just at paddypower.com but also the Racing Post app. Is it 3 votes for Sparkle Roll, Graham?
No, I don't fancy the favourite much. I am on Alexander for William Haggis, and one of the reasons I want to tip this is because I can roll out one of my favourite racing cliches, which is William Haggis is one of those trainers who doesn't call his geese swans. And in other words, he wouldn't be running Alexander in listed company unless he thought she was up to it. He doesn't tend to do so. And he won a list, I think it was a listed race at Sandown a couple of weeks ago on Eclipse Day with Hidden Message. The horse was absolutely punted off the boards and won tidily. And this one's got a lovely pedigree by Al Kazim out of Dolores. And Dolores is from all those families who've got the one name, you know, like Derek and some of the others, I can't remember what they were called. But they're all quite decent. But what they were slow, late developing types who improved with age and got better and better. And Al Kazim was obviously like that too, her sire. And Alexandra must be a similar type because she only ran 3 times last year, won twice, then she's only run once this season. She's already 4, so 4 runs at the age of 4. We're going to be seeing a lot more from her, I think, in the next couple of years, and she will be improving. She does need to improve, obviously. She's got loads to find with Sparkle Roll, but the form of her returns worked out quite well. Dramatic Queen won the race. Ed Bihar was second. They went on to finish 1st and 3rd at Haydock next time. And I thought that Alexandra shaped as though it needed a run. She's a massive price. I'll be absolutely amazed if she's double figure odds. I think she'll be well backed.
And 4 places as well.
4 places. I could see her going off 6-1. She's 12s at the moment.
Wow.
Is she 12?
Excellent.
Something like that.
That's a very strong case there, Gio. I'm pretty sure it's going to be your day. The comeback's going to happen.
Oh, I hope so. I need it.
I reckon you.
Going on holiday soon.
Oh, yeah?
I have no money left.
Oh, blimey. 2:10 at Market Rasen next. Jumps fans, you are well catered for by ITV with 2 races. The first of which is the Betway Summer Handicap Hurdle, over 2 miles and half a furlong. Take it away, James, with a show of betting.
Longhouse Sailors are 3-1 favourite, followed by St. Gallen at 4-1. Chef de Troop 13-2, Dino Velvet 9-1, Nayeti 9-1, and then there's a heap others at 9-1 and then 10-1 bar.
And we're sticking with you with the first tip, James.
Yeah, I'm going to go for St. Gallen here. Just think he's a real horse on the up. Obviously, Nayeti is in this race as well, who he beat before, and now they've both been up £5 since Nayeti has gone out and won since. So I just thought St. Gallen that last day, he won pretty snugly. He needs to probably settle a little bit better, but I think, this big runner, lots of runners in the race will help him settle. I just think they're going to go a good clip. He's going to get sharper with his jumping. I just think he'd be very hard to get out of the top 4 anyway. Like, I think he can run a really good race with Richard Johnson on board.
G-Rod, do you find it difficult to sort of reset your radar to the jumps at this time of year, or are you relishing it?
I love my jumping, but I do find that summer jumping is different to winter jumping. A lot different, and I find it hard to pick winners on them, but hopefully that will change here. Chef de Troop for me, for Richard Newland. This is quite the interesting thing about this race, isn't it? It's like the battle of the king of the summer jump trainers, isn't it? You got Dan Skelton and Ollie Murphy and
Owen.
Yeah, and Richard Newland, all putting in their best summer jumpers here. And I've gone for the Newland horse. Mainly because he jumped badly to the right last time out at Utoxa, but still absolutely hosed up. That probably wasn't the greatest of races, and it hasn't thrown up any winners, but couldn't have done much more wrong. The last couple of flights gave away loads of ground going out to the right. That's obviously a left-handed track, Utoxa, so we're switching back to quite a tight right-handed venue. Might suit him at Market Rasen. It's one of these races where, to be honest with you, absolutely, it's just going to sound so stupid. I was just about to say absolutely anything could win, but obviously
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, we know that.
Pauline would tell you that every race is like that.
Well, and it is, yeah. They will turn up with a chance. But my point being that there's loads and loads of unexposed potential improvers who we don't know how good they are, and it's hard to be really strong on anything. But Chef de Troop is one of them and could be one of those who takes a step forward.
Okay, and DJ, what's your view of this one?
This Longhouse Sale will need to be something really special to win this off 141. Like, he's 7 from 7, he's unbeaten. He's an unbelievably quick and slick jumper. I actually like watching him, but like, he's been brilliantly placed by Dan Skelton. Like, if he wins this off 141, you could be talking about a potential, grade 2, potentially grade 1 hurdler. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. For me, I think this race is tailor-made for Dino Velvet, who I don't think he's suited by kind of your usual summer racing, in that there's a small field. They don't go that quick like they do in the big field handicaps. Like, his best run in the last year came in the Scottish Champion Hurdle when he was second to Verdana Blue, and that was off the same mark of 134. Like, there's no Verdana Blue in this race, I don't think. That was a proper race. They went a proper gallop, and he finished second. I think he needs that to happen. And in this race, they will go so quick in this race. I think it'll play into the hands of Dino Velvet, who I think has the potential to win a handicap like this off a mark of 134. To me, it looks like he's been laid out for the race. So Dino Velvet for me, but I will be looking on with interest to see how Longhouse Sale gets on.
Righty-ho, and the 3:20 at Market Rasen is the Betway Summer Plate. A chase over 2 mile, 5.5 furlongs. How do Paddy Power bet on this one, James?
Gorsho Joe is our 9-2 favourite. Runava 11-2. Pacific Devon 6-1. Henryville 9-1. More Books 9-1. It's 10-1 bar.
And G-Rod, who wins?
Yeah, this got me quite excited, this one, because the Gortro Joe, the favourite. I mean, what a bet this is for a summer jump race. We were just talking about summer jumping and winter jumping being different. Obviously, winter being much stronger. Well, it looks to me like Dan Skelton's gone, right, we've got a decent winter horse here that we can win this good prize in the summer. He's very lightly raced over fences, but was impressive when winning at Ludlow. And then last time out at Market Rasen at the course in April. Now, watch Harry Skelton. If you can go back and watch the replays of this, I advise you to do so, because it is just so funny. They come to the final fence and he's hard on the steel and he looks like, oh, we're going to win this by a tidy, length on the bridle or whatever. And they get over the last, and you won't see Harry Skelton more busy on a horse that's going to win so easily. I mean, he really booted this horse home, and in the end, he extended the advantage from 2 lengths jumping the last to 12 lengths at the line. I mean, he absolutely
like him, is
bolted
he? He's normally fairly conservative.
But you know why he did it? You know why he did it? Because he wanted to make sure that he was going to get into this race. It's quite hard to get into these big handicap chases, especially when you're a lightly raced chaser like Gautreau Joe is. And he'd obviously been, Dan and Harry had obviously had a little conversation before and gone, right, well, we want to get in this big one in the summer. It's at the track. Let's make sure we win nicely here and we get our weight up so that we definitely get in. And he definitely does get in. And he was so impressive that day. And then they haven't even bothered to run since. They're like, well, we'll put him away now and we'll line him up for it. It looks an absolute plot job, this Gautreau Joe.
Have you been spiked? I've never known you so enthusiastic. Someone put something in your coffee. Brilliant to hear G-Rod so upbeat, isn't it, DJ?
Yeah, like he could be. Maybe he's right, but I went through it. There's a horse rate 125 in here, and last year a horse rate 122 got in, and he was rated 128 going into the Market Rasen race. So I don't know. Would he not have got in anyway, Graham? No.
I don't know. Ask Dan.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I agree with you. What happened after the last? It was strange to see him win so easy because he could have made it look kind of more arduous than it was and won by 2 or 3 lengths. And you could have hit the nail on the head here. He could win and he could be way ahead of his mark. But I'm just not convinced. Henryville is the one that I kind of came down on here. I think he would have won the race 3 years ago if he didn't come down at the last. He's just a type of horse that I think is suited to races like these because he'd be held up. He travels supremely well in his race. He's not the best jumper in the world, but I think he'd be okay around Market Rasen. And Peter Bone won the race last year with more bucks, and he's got this horse from Harry Fry. And I would say this has been on his agenda for quite a while, Henryville, because they go so fast. It really does suit him. And I go back to that race in 2016, the way he travelled that day. I think he's a big player, Henryville. But I hope Graham is right for Graham's sake.
I finally got out of the habit of backing Henryville, and just as he starts winning, so I'm going to have to start jumping back on that particular bandwagon. James Ryan, what's your view of this race?
Yeah, Henryville as well for me. Just thought he looked back to his best nearly the last day. Hasn't been a Peter Bone too long. Peter likes this race. Hopefully the ground will stay good for him. He's jumping well. It's a high enough rise in the weights for him, but I think he run well in what is a fairly competitive race, but he's the one I'm going for as well.
Righty-ho, let's get stuck into the race of the day. 5:10 at the Curragh, the Kerry Gold Irish Oaks. And read out all the short-priced losers, James, for us, and then get to the two horses that can win. Away you go.
Pink Dogwood is our 2-1 favourite, followed by Iridressa at 11-4. Sorry. 4-1. Fleeting 13-2. A couple of horses called De Vega something, 8-1, 11-1. Search for a Song, 16s. Triatus, 18s. And the Rags are 33-1, 150.
Okay, I'll paraphrase that. Manuela De Vega, 8-1. Antonia De Vega, 11-1. Have the dual forecast if you want, but we'll get the view of the boys, what they fancy. Starting with DJ.
I'm a bit scared here because if I don't tip one of the Beckett horse, I'll never be asked back on.
You tip whoever you like, DJ.
I actually tipped a horse in the Racing Post today. I tipped Fleeting at 7-1 because I thought she was the one that was overpriced. Now she is very, very tricky, but to me there's kind of ifs and buts about them all. Like if I go through them, Iridessa, you'd think we'll get a mile and a half, but she's never tried it. She was good in the Pretty Polly. She ran in the Guineas. She's not guaranteed to stay. Pink Dogwood, I was really disappointed with in the Pretty Polly. To me, she was tuned to the minute for the Oaks at Epsom. She was ready that day. That was her peak performance. She should have won the race. She should have won it easily, and she didn't. It was a bad ride from Ryan Moore. To me, I just wondered that she peaked that day, and we just mightn't see the best of her for the rest of the season.
Terrible favourite. Terrible price favourite. Pink Dogwood.
Yeah.
Place late.
Starcatcher, to me, got the run of the race in the Ribblesdale. Manuela De Vega obviously ran a cracker in the Oaks. Antonia De Vega. This is interesting because you obviously, I presume you talk to Rafe every day. I don't know. But did you see him interviewed after this race? He was like scratching his head. He was going, you would want to see how poorly this horse worked the other day. Like he could not believe that she won. And that's obviously a good sign. She keeps her best for the track. But she obviously works absolutely deplorably. She was a huge drifter that day. She drifted all the way out to 4-1. She was very impressive. It was like a bog in Newbury that day. I can see where you're coming from. I think she will finish ahead of Manuela De Vega. But to me, when I go through Fleeting, I just think this could be Fleeting's day. She works spectacularly well if you talk to anybody in Ballydoyle. she's been asked some huge questions by the way she's been ridden on her last couple of starts. Maybe that's the way she needs to be ridden. But I am reading plenty into the fact that Donnacha O'Brien is riding Fleeting. I think that Donnacha would have had the choice and would have been told what to ride. And I'm sure he could have rode Iridessa, because I know Wayne Lorden rode Iridessa when she won the Pretty Polly, and I know he rode her when she won the Fillies Mile. But Donnacha is Joseph's first choice jockey when he's got one in Group 1s. Obviously, Ryan Moore was going to be riding Pink Dogwood. I would suggest that Joseph and Aidan did have a chat and they came to their conclusion with jockey bookings. And I would think that Aidan thinks that Fleeting has got a great chance of winning the Oaks. If things fall into place, they're going to go quick. I think the Curragh will suit slightly better than Ascot did. And to me, at 7-1, I think she should be 7-2. I think Fleeting has got a cracking chance.
Righty-ho, James, who do you like?
DJ, we're on the same boat here. I'm Fleeting as well. I've liked her for a long time. Backed her for the Guineas. That didn't work out well. Gave up on her in Epsom. Backed her in Ascot. But I think, like, if you go back and look at the Oaks at Epsom, like, she was arguably the best filly in the race. The way she was ridden there, got into a little bit of trouble. Didn't really handle the canter too well on the track. Then Ascot, slightly unlucky in running, stayed on really well. I don't think she's going to care if there's too much rain or if the ground's fast tomorrow. I just think she'll be able to show her turn of foot. I think the Curragh will suit her much better than what Epsom did. I just think she'll run really well. Similar to you, DJ, I think she's a cracking each way price of that. And I'll be pricing her up a lot shorter once we have a conversation with the lads, but I think she's a cracking chance.
Oh, the boys are both very keen on Fleeting. Who are you keen on, Graham?
Yeah, I think they must have read each other's notes, these two, because they just hit the same one every time. I don't like any of those at the top of the market, and the British runners have been dominating this race, haven't they? 3 of the last 4 runnings have gone to British trained runners. And I thought Antonio de Vega was the one.
Yeah, correct. Well done, mate.
Rafe.
Gold star.
Yeah, I thought that she absolutely bolted up last time on soft ground.
So impressive, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she's going to surely get a bit of cut in the ground. I mean, it's meant to be a terrible day in Ireland today, apparently. Obviously was a little bit worried that Colin Keane was riding. Harry Bentley, who's ridden her on every one of her starts, has jumped on the other one, Manuela de Vega. Who knows what that's all about, but...
Well, it might corroborate with what DJ was saying earlier, that perhaps Antonio's just not working well, so they've got sucked into putting too much credence onto the homework again, right?
Possible, isn't it? Maybe she just doesn't work very well and doesn't mean everything, does it? I mean, there's a whole Sir Dragonet or whatever apparently works terribly, and obviously went on to finish 3rd or 4th in the Derby or whatever it was. So I wouldn't be too worried. I'll go with what I've seen in my own eyes rather than what everyone tells me from the gallops, and I'll stick with Antonio de Vega.
Way back in the dim and distant past, I worked at Catford Dog Track in the early 1980s, and one of the trainers there, a guy called John Horsfall, a great man, he said to me, 2 bits of advice for you. Never ignore the obvious. Let your eyes be your guide and your money the last thing you part with. So it's what he's saying. Let your eyes be a guide. Go on what's on the track. They don't pay out on what's happening at home. Oh, by the way, James, can you price Antonia de Vega up for the St Leger, please, at some point? Because hardly anyone is, and she's going to win this, and then she's going to win the St Leger. So go a nice big price for me, would you? Right, that is all the TV action done and dusted. Let's round up the rest of Saturday. We've got the undercards at Newbury, Newmarket and Market Rasen as the Curragh, as well as Ripon, Cartmel, Doncaster and Haydock. Now then, there's a new rule with Postcasts, because you'll remember if you're a regular watcher or listener that when it comes to the roundup, G-Rod just flails around with his phone. He can't remember which race it is, which meeting it is, whether they've even been declared. So the new rule is G-Rod's got to write them down. And not only has he written them down, he's got a lovely printout. There's a lot of names on them, G-Rod, so I want you to spin through nice and quickly, please.
Well, there's not that many, actually, because I put down all the horses in the races that we were doing.
Oh, okay.
Just so I didn't forget what one I was going to tip. But I do have a couple for you. And one of them is in the 350 at Newmarket called Alternative Fact. I backed this horse last time out at Sandown. They went from the front, dictated quite a steady pace. And the horse ran really, really well for all that was double figures, travelling like the winner throughout. Just got done by a couple of more lightly raced progressive types, always going to be vulnerable to that type. But soft ground really suits, loads and loads of rain forecast. Hopefully it gets to Newmarket. Maybe not quite as much rain forecast for
Coming
Newmarket.
from the west, isn't it? So it might peter out apparently.
I hope not, because Alternative Fact does want soft ground, but very well handicapped on best form. So that one must go close. Alternative Fact 350 at Newmarket. Jamie Spencer takes the ride as well, which is a massive positive. Spencer was in flying form towards the end of last week, and I just think Spencer nowadays is one of the biggest confidence jockeys going. When he is riding high, he seems to be able to win on anything. So I fancy Alternative Fact. And in the 3:45 at Cartmel, now I do love a bit of Cartmel, because you never quite know where you are. They say they come to the last and you think, oh, we're nearly there. And they've got another 3 furlongs to run and go round the bend past the Priory. So the 3:45, Wisecracker, another one that's very, very well handicapped on his best form. And what caught my eye here was the booking of Bryony Frost for Ben Case. Wisecracker is a front runner, and there is no one better from the front than Bryony. She is absolutely spectacular on a front runner, as we all know. And I think that she can get the best from Wisecracker in the 3:45 at Cartmel.
What time was Alternative Fact?
3:50 at Newmarket.
Lovely. So it's a big 5 minutes for you then, isn't
Yeah,
it, DJ?
absolutely.
Oh, not DJ, G-Rod even. Blimey. DJ, how many are in your roundup?
3 at the Curragh.
Away you go.
I actually think Graham has sussed Cartmel, because if I'm right in thinking, Graham, and I follow you religiously, was your last winner on Life's Tipster not the big priced Wells de Loon a couple of weeks ago at Cartmel?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was my last one. Hopefully I've had 1 or 2 since then, but absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was 2014 was that?
No, the last Cartmel meeting, we had a fantastic day where we were backing all the Peter Bowen runners. He had 2 huge price winners.
That's called damning with faint praise, by the way. He's such a bitch, DJ. He's just trying to highlight that you've gone 2 weeks without a winner. That's quite nasty, that, DJ. Get on with your Curragh fancies.
When he's joking. Okay, in the 3:25, I'm going to give Chessman another chance for Richard O'Brien and Oisin Orr. Just think a handicap like this, ran a cracker behind Speaking Colours in a Group 2 last time. I think a handicap like this, held up, plenty of cover. I think Chessman off mark of 101 can go really close and will be a double figure price in the 3:25 in the Scurry. In the 4:35, it is the Minstrel Stakes. Gordon Law Byron is making his 100th racecourse appearance here. The favourite is likely to be Romanised, who we've tipped a couple of times for the Queen Anne and Lockhinge and stuff. But I think Safe Voyage, it's absolutely pissing rain out here at the minute.
That's no good for a Romanised, is it? He needs it like a road, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think if the rain does get into the ground, I'd say it'll get maybe 10, 15 mils. It's hard to know how much that's going to get into the ground. But I think Safe Voyage is a winner. I think Romanised, one of these horses, is always going to look a little bit unlucky. We're always going to be making excuses. So I think Safe Voyage has won his last 3. Obviously loves Haydock, loves soft ground. But I just think he's travelling so well in his races now. He's only rated £2 inferior to Romanised. I think Safe Voyage is the most solid option in the 4:35. And one other one, I think Royal Illusion in the 5:45 in the Ladies Derby. I think she's different class to these. Willie Mullins trains. Jodie Townend, who's Paul's younger sister, takes the ride. I think Royal Illusion is different class to them in the 5:45 at the Curragh.
I was very sad to see a tweet the other day from Willie Mullins that their lovely dog died recently. You know, that beautiful was it a golden retriever or a Labrador?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I fell in love with that one when I went to the stable. Oh, well, never mind. The big question, I suppose, with the Curragh DJs, what's the crowd going to be? Do you think they'll get a few in, or will it be another disappointment?
Oh, no, it'll be a very small crowd tomorrow. The Oaks wouldn't really get a big crowd anyway, so it'll be very, very, very small.
It is such a shame, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, you know, now it's finished. I think it's half decent, isn't it? And yet the people are not coming, are they?
No, well, there was a bit of problems with race day experience, long queues and stuff at bars and toilets for the Derby meeting. But it would be, anybody who wants to go, it will be really enjoyable for the Oaks because there'll just be a nice crowd. Hopefully it won't rain too much. And it's a fabulous place. Like, it really is. I know it's got bad publicity, but it is a very, very nice place to go racing.
It sure is, particularly when there's 2 Rafe Beckett horses to back. James, what have you got for us away from the glare of the TV cameras?
Yeah, similar to Curragh, the 3:25. Obviously, DJ picked one in it, but I'm going for a different one. Ice Cold in Alex, Ken Condon horse, who was really unlucky last time out at the Curragh. Basically got no run at all and was fairly flying at the finish. That was a fairly funny race. They went fairly slow and Everton kind of sprinted from the front and he was the only one that came from the back. So I just thought he could still have a good few pounds in hand coming into this. And he's gone off 8 stone 5 and Niall McCullough's riding nearly the best he's ever ridden in his life. So I quite like him. In the 5:20 in Newmarket, I quite like a horse called Maxime. He's been quietly back the last couple of times. 2 runs this year and he's dropped another £2 from his last run. He just didn't get a run and Ryan was very easy on him last time. Nearly gonna clipped heels a little and got pushed into a rail, so he just let him come home and the handicap dropped him £2 for that. I can see the market fairly missing him again at early prices and a bit of money coming from late in the day, so I wouldn't mind getting on him. And then just one just more to keep an eye on. Snow Fairy has her second foal running in the 6:15 in Doncaster tomorrow by Glen Eagle. So that'll just be one to keep an eye out. Hopefully that'll run well, better than the first foal. So
has it got a name?
Yeah, just as an interest. It does indeed. It's called Virgin Snow.
Lovely, excellent. Oh, well, that's well worth looking out for. Okay, let's get the naps.
This will not be beaten.
Right, I never give a nap, but I'm going to 5:10 at the Curragh. Antonio De Vega will win the Irish Oaks. G-Rod, what's your nap?
I am going to go for Fox Chairman in the 150 at Newbury.
Solid.
It will win.
Okay, DJ.
There's a man mad for a winner. In the 225 at Newbury, Proskema.
Okay, and finally, James Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up with DJ Proskema. I think he'll go off an awful lot shorter than what he is currently.
Smashing stuff. Thank you, chaps. Let's do Sunday next.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet the next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
It's the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, David Jennings and Paddy Powers. James Ryan looking ahead to a decent card at the Curragh on Sunday. 2 group races, the first of which takes place at 3:10. It's the Friarstown Stud Sapphire Stakes. A Group 2 which will be won, David Jennings, by...
I'm going to tear my hair out if Equilateral doesn't win this. Like, this just seems to be everything in his favour. I just hated the way he was ridden at Ascot. Like, I know Batash was in there in Blue Point. It's the best sprint we're going to see this season, but this is a horse that's all about speed, explosive. Get out there in front and strut your stuff. Don't be waiting for things to happen. And to me, he was just ridden all wrong in the King's Stand. He should be different league to these. I think he's a really good sprinter. I think he's a Group 1 sprinter running a Group 2. So Equilateral.
James, do you agree?
I don't, I'm afraid. I'm going for Soldier's Call here. Thought he ran a career best at Ascot last time out. Having really stepped up from his reappearance. I think a reproduction of that would be very hard to beat. Like 3 of his last 5 starts, he's had an RPR above 101. Equilateral's only had an RPR above 110 once. So I just think he's going to be very solid. And I'd say he'll be short enough favourite, but I think he'll be very hard to beat.
How many more times does Equilateral have to get beat, DJ, before you stop tipping him?
6, I'd say.
You're so loyal. G-Rod, who do you like in the Sapphire?
Caspian Prince for me. I've been following this horse recently. I backed him at Sandown a couple of starts ago and he ran an absolute cracker to finish 3rd behind Curious, who's an improving 3-year-old with Oshin Murphy charting a wider course than everyone else, coming down the centre, which was quite interesting. And then last time out at York, you're running another hot race. I can't remember what won it, but I know I tipped it, so that might have been my last winner. But Caspian Prince ran very, very well. Copper Knight. Yeah, Copper Knight was the horse. Caspian Prince was 4th. I think that he's won at the Curragh, so he loves the track. I think Caspian Knight can beat all those Irish sprinters. None of them are any good, are they, those Irish sprinters? All the British win the Irish sprints, don't they?
Okay.
The problem is Equilateral is an
Ken
English
Sovereigns
one,
is half decent.
Oh yeah, he's all right, yeah.
3:45 Curragh, Kilboy Estate Stakes. A Group 2 for fillies and mares over a mile and 1 furlong. James, away you go. Who wins?
Geez, this is a terrible Group 2. I can't see this being a Group 2 for much longer if this is the lineup that they keep getting. I think if the rain comes, I think Swiftly will be very hard to beat. She's going to be a pretty warm favourite, but if we don't get as much or if the ground is good, I'd be likely to take her on with Red Tea. It was fairly disappointing at Ascot last time out. But her last start for her, which was on faster ground, she was finishing upside the likes of I Can Fly and One Master. Getting £3 from Move Swiftly, she'll be the one outside with, probably at a nice each way price. I'd say the race will make up pretty nicely if the all 8 stay in the race for an each way bet on Red Tea.
Have you got a view here, Graham?
Yeah, I just want to use Move Swiftly as an example of what I said earlier. William Haggis not calling his geese swans, in that Move Swiftly had been beaten in listed company and in a handicap before she then turned out first time out and in a Group 2 looked to be outclassed and won tidily at Royal Ascot. She's the sort of horse that Haggis will keep getting some more improvement from. Any rain will suit her. I think Move Swiftly is different gravy.
I've been lucky enough to work in this racing journalism game for 30 odd years. I've never actually heard that one about calling geese swans. Have you, DJ? Is that a new one on you?
No, I've heard it before, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, you'd say it about footballers as well.
Right. Oh, well, I like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Who do you think will win this one then, DJ?
This is absolutely shocking stuff. Like this is like it's an embarrassment to call this race a Group 2. To be honest, the one I chance because of Jockey Bookings would be Goddess, because she was as fat as I was at the at Navan last time, and to to me, she just looks like the type. She was obviously very disappointing in the latter stages of her 2-year-old career. She was favoured for the Guineas at one stage, and she's now had 2 runs to get back right. She drifted like a barge at Navan. She's only rated 91, but Ryan Moore rides her instead of the 100 rated Coral Beach, which to me speaks volumes. And while she's got a massive £21 on ratings to find with Move Swiftly, she is getting £12. And I just think if those 2 runs have brought her on, she could just be, maybe this could be the day to catch Goddess.
Okie doke. Right then, as well as the rest of the Curragh card, we've got Tipperary in Ireland, and in England we've got Newton Abbot, Redcar and Stratford. Graham, have you got anything else for us to back?
Yeah, I've got one in the 5:45 at Redcar. They're going on really late. I think the last race on Sunday, Redcar, 6:15. So, it'll be halfway through the Open final round by the time that's done. Anyway, Never Be Enough in the 5:45 at Redcar. Caught my eye, ran really well last time when massively outclassed in a listed race at Pontefract. Stayed on nicely, was beaten sort of neck, head, like a bit of a blanket. If that form can be taken literally, then Never Be Enough is absolutely thrown in back in handicap company here, and I'm happy to take a chance that she might be.
Right, anything else you want to add to all your other pearls, DJ?
Yeah, this will win now. This will win, so you can get the clip ready, Adam, for next week. And it could be a bit of a price. In the 4:55 at the Curragh on Sunday, this will win. It's a horse called Istoria. It's number 9 on your race card. It's trained by Joe Murphy. It's ridden by Gary Carroll. It's finished 3rd and 6th on our 2 starts so far. First time out, really eye-catching run at Cork, and a good maiden that worked out well. Last time at Navan, anything that could have possibly gone wrong did go wrong. I thought she ran a cracker. She's only beaten 6 lengths. The winner has won since. The second home that day was Simply Beautiful has won since. The third home was Kiss for a Jewel, who had good form going into the race. I thought it was a good maiden, and I will be absolutely bitterly disappointed if Istoria does not win the 4:55 at the Curragh. She's a smart filly.
Wow, great, very positive word to end up with from DJ. Anything else to add, James?
Again, just one kind of from the breeding aspect of things. Finskill BO has another filly out in the first in the Curragh. For Jim Bulger and Michael Ryan in the 2 o'clock called Nablienta Bow, which is the living years in Irish. So it should just be one to keep an eye out for, see if she can progress like Finchgale Bio did herself.
What did Finchgale Bio mean?
That I couldn't tell you. I cheated and looked up Nablienta Bow there a second ago.
David, did you pay attention in your Irish lessons?
Yes, of course I did. I always did. Finchgale Bio is living legend.
Is it?
Yep, living legend, yeah. Finchgale Bio.
Okay, me and G-Rod would be unable to corroborate that, but I believe you. Right then, weekend plans. DJ, what are you up to? Curragh tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, I have a really nice weekend ahead because I'm in the Curragh tomorrow and I'm off Sunday, and there's a double header in Croke Park, Gaelic football. Meath, my home county, are playing Mayo, and Kerry are playing Donegal. So I will be in Croke Park on Sunday and I can't wait.
And what's the bet?
The best bet on the GA front this weekend is under 21.5 Kerry points at 5-6 with Paddy Power.
Blimey, is that with the football or hurling?
It's football.
Okay, lovely. James, what about you? What's your weekend hold?
In here working tomorrow, and then Sunday I'm off, but I'm running in a race in a nice 10k, so that'll keep me ticking over.
Ooh, blimey, good luck with that one. What are you hoping to do? 50 minutes?
Yeah, about 50. But get under 50 would be nice, but
good effort.
That'll be the day.
Jolly good. And G-Rod, you've got, what's Saturday? Because you've got a very exciting day Sunday, haven't you?
Yeah, live tipster on Saturday. So any questions into Race Day Live at racingpost.com if you want to hear from me, which you probably don't. But
you always answer, don't you? If anyone
I do.
If anyone emails in, they'll always get a personal answer, won't they?
I do. Always try my best to answer them all. And on Sunday is one of the highlights of the year, without doubt. The Epping Ongar Railway Beer Festival is always a fantastic event. You know, with the steam trains going. They'll have the proper old steamers going up and down the Heritage Railway with any amount of number of beers and perries on offer. And it is always a fantastic highlight. So I did take the day off especially for that, with a view to watching the Open final round after having a few perries.
Lovely.
Should be great.
That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? It's a great day for me because the Tour de France and the Open both come into the boil at the same time. I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay then, chaps, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, if you enjoy the shows, please make sure you rate, review and subscribe wherever you are listening. Maddie and the team are back on Monday to look back on the weekend and look ahead to what's coming up. I'm back on Friday when we will be looking ahead to the King George. Do please join us for them.
Paddy Power Games has over 250 of your favourites to play online, and we're going to attempt to name them all in this 10-second ad before the T's and C's kick in. There's Blackjack, 18+, begambleaware.org.